Let's talk about AI. It feels like it's absolutely everywhere. And if you're a business owner, it's probably on your mind a lot. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to look at how small businesses are actually using AI right now to solve real everyday problems based on what the experts are seeing on the ground.
So, here's the big question, the one everyone's asking. Is all this AI talk just another buzzword? Is it just hype? Or can it actually solve the biggest problems you're facing in your business day to day? We're not talking about some sci-fi future here. We're talking about real, practical impact you can see, like right now.
And look, if you're running a business, I'm willing to bet these are the exact questions bouncing around in your head. Like, will this thing really make my team more productive? Where am I going to see the biggest bang for my buck? Can it actually make my customers happier? And maybe the biggest one of all, how in the world do I even get started? Well, you're in the right place because we're going to tackle every single one of those.
All right, first things first. Let's settle this debate once and for all. Is AI a real deal tool for your business, or is it just more noise? For the longest time, growing a business meant one thing: hiring more people, more staff, more growth. Simple. But what experts like HubSpot's Dylan Selberg are saying is that AI is flipping that whole model on its head. The new way to grow, it's not about scaling your team anymore. It's about scaling what your team can produce, your output. And that, right there, is a massive, massive shift in how we think about growth. And if you can scale your output without just adding more people, well, that leads right to the number one thing everybody wants from new technology, right? A major, serious boost in productivity.
And this isn't just theory. The data is absolutely backing this up. Get this. A staggering 81% of people using HubSpot's AI tools say they're spending less time on those tedious manual tasks. The boring stuff. And even better, 71% say that's freeing them up to focus on the work that really matters. That's not just a small tweak. That's a huge improvement in how a business operates.
So what are we talking about here in the real world? Well, think about all those little things that eat up the day. Drafting that first version of some marketing copy or a blog post, answering the same simple customer questions over and over, handling all that mind-numbing data entry, or even just managing schedules. When you automate these things, you're literally buying back time for your team, time they can now spend on strategy, on being creative, on the stuff that actually grows the business.
Okay, so we know it boosts productivity, but the real question is, where are businesses seeing the biggest wins? Where's the impact most obvious?
Well, right now, the biggest impact is happening in what are called go-to-market teams. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying your marketing, your sales, and your customer service folks. And when you think about it, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? These are the teams on the front lines, the ones bringing in money and keeping customers happy. So any little bit of efficiency you give them has this huge ripple effect on the entire business. Let me give you a perfect example. Imagine a small online retailer. They can pop in an AI chatbot that's on duty 24/7. So a customer can ask, "Where's my order?" at 2 a.m. and get an instant answer. Or they can start a return without waiting for a human. This is huge. It meets that modern need for instant gratification, right? The results is you get way happier customers. And your human support team can stop answering the same basic questions and focus on the really tricky problems.
Okay, so hopefully the why is starting to become pretty clear. Now let's get to the how. And you know what? Getting started is probably a lot easier than you think. The expert advice really boils down to two simple things. First, and this is key, don't get distracted by all the crazy stuff AI can do. Just pick one real specific problem you have right now. Are you drowning in customer emails? Start there. Is content creation a bottleneck? Start there. And second, you just have to be willing to experiment. Let your team play around with the different tools, see what works. This is an evolution, not some big, scary one-and-done project.
But what about the cost? This has to be expensive, right? Well, this might be the most surprising part of all. The cost to get started with a lot of these really powerful AI tools is zero. Yep, nothing. There are so many free options out there that can give you real value from day one. That's a huge barrier, just gone. Okay, but a lot of people worry, is AI-generated content any good? It's a fair question. The best practice from experts like Dylan Selberg is super simple. Think of the AI as your intern. Use what it gives you as a first draft. It's fantastic for brainstorming ideas and getting a structure down on paper. But then your team, the humans, need to come in, polish it, and add that unique brand voice, that creative spark that actually makes it connect with people.
All right, for our last point, let's zoom out for a second.
let's talk about the bigger picture and why this isn't just another passing trend. This is a fundamental shift.
People are comparing the impact of AI to the rise of the internet, and that's not an exaggeration. Think about it. The internet let a small business reach a global audience. It changed everything about marketing and sales. Well, AI is poised to do the exact same thing for operations. It's going to allow a tiny team to manage a huge, complex, even global operation with very little direct human intervention. That's the game-changing potential we're looking at here.
So here's the bottom line. The businesses that are serious about growth, they're already using AI. They're already getting a leg up. It's really not a question of if you should adopt it anymore. The question is how you're going to use it. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Your competition is already figuring this out. So what problem are you going to solve first?